really all sides. Really played pretty well. You know, as always, there's always things to clean up, but protected the football on offense. Defense, I thought, we were better. I think we fixed some things we need to fix. Special teams, solid, really. That surprise onside did get us, but other than that, we felt really good. Penalties is always something we got to clean up. Something we always will work on. But really just a good night overall for us. And then when it was over, it was great to have just a few days off for our guys and get healed up. And as we come into the big game against UTSA, obviously for them to be 3-0 is a big deal. So give Coach Truther and that whole group a lot of credit. They're playing really well, playing hard, believing. Won some close games, found a way to win. So give them a lot of credit. Offensively, they're they're getting a lot of snaps. They're getting 70-something plus snaps a game. Their quarterback, who has been playing very efficient, did get banged up, and their backup came in, who was at New Mexico State, so we'd spent a lot of time watching him. Came in and threw for about 230 yards in the second half. Got a really good running back in McCormick, who was our freshman of the year last year. Defensively, Coach Nix, who I know well, is doing a really good job with the defense. They're very aggressive, a lot of different looks, good defense, and then special teams. And I know I coach with their special teams coordinator, Tommy Perry. So just very well coached. Big game for us. Obviously, this is Children's Harbor game. We'll spend some more time on that. But, really one of my favorite weeks of the year is getting to do our homecoming Children's Harbor game, where we wear the alternate uniforms. We wear the name of the former patient on the back. Our kids, know these folks. We've been doing this for a while. Really just one of the great things that we do in our program that I'm really, really proud of. So really just a big week for us. Obviously, first conference game as well. All right, questions?
Obviously, you had two guys missing on defense this past week, Grayson Cash and Chris Small. What's the status on them going forward for this week?
Yeah, so Cash is still kind of a wait and see. He's got a little bit of a foot issue that we think will be resolved soon. Don't know how quickly. Damon Miller stepped in, played really well in his absence. So we'll have him back. I don't know if we'll have him back this week or Western Kentucky, but we'll get him back soon. Mole, same thing. He's gone through a bunch of things throughout his career, and we really just said, let's just try and get him well. Hopefully we get him back this week, but he feels a lot better because we had the open date before, and we were able to rest him up last week. So he does feel a lot better. Hopefully we'll get him back this week.
Coach, is UTSA the best team that you will have faced during this stretch of undefeated games there at Legion Field?
Talking about at Legion? Yeah,
at Legion.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to be one of the better teams. I mean, we've played some good teams. And you go back to North Texas when we played them. You go back to La Tech. So we've played some good teams there, but obviously, you got an undefeated team who's coming here with a lot of belief. I think they're going to be right up there with any of them. Yeah.
How are y'all preparing for the quarterbacks this week? Obviously, Harris, he's a game time decision. Then you got the backup who played well last week. So just how are y'all going preparing this week for that?
Well, and that's a good question. And, their third quarterback we played, Narcisse, we played against last year, who's kind of that runner-thrower. And, that's how I kind of talk about them, runner-throwers versus thrower-runners. I mean, they're all athletes nowadays. Some are more of a runner than others. The backup, it's a little bit different because we've watched so much film on New Mexico State. So I was already wary of him because I thought we were going to open up with New Mexico State. And then he transfers to UTSA. So – they've got three very capable quarterbacks. So, we kind of got to get ready for all of them.
I guess that's sort of a blessing in disguise with the New Mexico State film having already looked at that a good bit.
Yeah, it sure got my attention. I mean, for a guy to throw for over 5,000 yards, you kind of like, okay, this guy's very capable. And it's not, I think from all of us, it's kind of like our situation. You're probably going to find things that maybe fits this guy better, but you're not going to revamp your whole offense. So, It just makes it interesting for us trying to defend. But they had really three solid quarterbacks, so they're really in pretty good shape there.
Bill, what were the biggest pluses and minuses of Bryson's night?
Yeah, I think for us, it was just that he came in, played with a lot of poise, a lot of confidence, threw the ball well. I mean, I think just like any quarterback, he's got things that maybe don't even show up to the average fan out there where he missed a read or something like that. But it was just a super solid night. That's kind of what we expected for him. That's what we hoped for, to go down there on a big stage and play really well. And so, he's in there yesterday, what can I do better? How do I improve? And I think that's the thing we love about him. That's the thing we think we got in that whole quarterback room. But really pleased with it.
Talk a little bit about their defense. If you look at particularly number 1 and number 8, those two guys on that front 7 have been doing a lot of damage for these guys these first few games. How do you expect to kind of defend against a front 7 that seems to have a kind of a renewed aggressiveness to them?
Yeah, and I think just knowing their defensive coordinator like I do and how hard he gets his guys to play, from going against him at Middle Tennessee and knowing him for years, they're going to be good. I mean, and defense is so much about how hard you play, the fundamentals of getting off blocks and pursuit and tackling, as it is of what you call. And so I know they're going to be strong in those areas just because I know how he's going to coach them. And then they're very aggressive. They're going to blitz you a bunch of different ways. So that's the thing you got to be ready for. That can sometimes be different for somebody that's as aggressive as they are.
Bill, Spencer's body transformation and just how great he looks and how he paid close attention to making himself better. Was that something that you inspired him to do, or he inspired himself to do, or a little of both?
I think for us, we kind of got into that mode of you're not going to play at 240. It's not who you are. So I'd always say it takes a village, and so me, Coach Vincent, Coach Brigham, Lyle, Spencer, all of us together. And I always say it's always good to play with a chip on your shoulder. You got something to prove. He had something to prove this year. He's also wanting to continue to playing past us. I mean, so it was every one of those things. And he was never terrible from a training standpoint. He just knew he had to take the next step. So it's fun as a coach to see something that everybody talked about and committed to, but he's the one that had to go make it happen. And so it's always fun to see a young man do that. So, just proud of him.
You're going into conference play now after these first few weeks. What are y'all's COVID numbers looking at going into this part of the season?
Yeah, so we were 0 this past test. Of course, it's always a constant, but we're finally, we got almost our whole team back. We'll see where Cash is, but we probably got number-wise. We had a bunch of guys out that open date, just with hamstrings and shoulders. And so we should be as close as we've been to 100%. Obviously, when you test as many times as we do, you'll see. But we're at 0 right now.
Anything else for Coach? All right.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
All right. We'll move linebacker Noah Wilder up to the computer. Noah had 6 tackles, a TFL, a sack, and his first career interception. So with that, we'll move it to Noah for questions.
Hey, how y'all doing?
How you doing, Noah? Obviously, as a defense, you guys know what you are somewhat facing this week in number 3, the running back, but they're going to be kind of playing musical chairs with the QBs. It seems at times we're not sure if the starting quarterback's going to be starting. So, as a defense, do y'all prepare this week for that?
We'll just prepare for him like we will for the starter. We got a lot of respect for him. Like Coach said, he came in, thought he did a good job, and just work towards that and just be most prepared as we can for him.
Coming off the Miami game, y'all didn't have the best of not that night, but y'all come against South Alabama, and y'all are able to really put down what y'all have been known to do the past few years. Just what was it like getting back out there and being able to dominate an opponent defensively like that?
It felt really good. I thought South Alabama was a really good ball team. We worked hard the previous week, took advantage of that. Thought our offense played really well and got us on. They went out there and balled out, and we went out there and was prepared for them really well. And it felt really good to go back to doing what we do as a defense. So everybody played really good as a whole.
Noah, as a defensive leader, how do you approach the penalties? I know you had targeting, some late hits, and then a couple of punches were thrown. How do you approach that as a defensive team leader?
I think that ain't us, and we need to address that as a team. Not just from the coaches. We got to do better at that and hold each other accountable for that. That right there will get you beat. And going forward this week, we'll really address that.
Can you talk about Spencer and just the transformation his body has taken and having to go against him in practice, how much better he's looked? I mean, he looks in the best shape he's ever looked in his life.
Oh, yes, sir. Spencer's electric. He's the hardest running back I've ever had to tackle, and I really like having him on my team. Practicing with him. Spencer's really helped me grow as a linebacker and helped me become better. That's the type of guy Spencer is. He works hard, he plays hard, and he's a good leader for our team. And I'm happy to be his teammate.
And what is the fact that he felt like he had to undergo this change to make himself better? What does that say about him as a team leader and how disciplined he is?
I think it says a lot about Spencer. I was with him all off season, working out with him. I could tell, he was getting himself ready and doing whatever he could for the team to not only better himself, but for the team. And that's what type of player he is. He's a good team player, and I respect Spencer a lot.
Obviously, last season you have a great fall camp, earn a starting role, have a great 2019 season. Right now, you got your kind of a linebacker teammate there, Chris Small, out, with some injuries. So how have you kind of taken upon this leadership mantle, especially, working inside the middle of that defense?
Number one thing, we want Chris to get well, get him out there as soon as we can. But even though he's off the field, Chris has been a really good leader off the field too. He's been there at every practice, and he's really, helped, lead the team in the way he can. And he's motivated me and helped me out a lot in doing that as well. And he's helped me really step it up. Appreciate him a lot.
Any other questions for Noah? All right. Thank you, Noah.
Yes, sir.
And we'll now move Bryson Lucero up to the computer. Bryson doesn't know this yet, but he was named a Manning Star of the Week, one of 8 quarterbacks in the country. So I haven't gotten around to writing that release yet, but we'll let Bryson sit down and you can ask him some questions.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today?
Great. How are you? Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What did that say about how much confidence Coach Clark has in you that the first play of the game, I mean, you got to uncork one and throw it deep? What does that say about a coach's belief in a quarterback?
It's very it's very helpful for me as a quarterback, just to know that the coach has your back, and coach has a lot of confidence in you. And so with able to open up a play like that, knows that your coach has confidence, and that just helps throughout the whole game.
One of the things I noticed against South Alabama was you were very efficient on third down and a very cool, collected customer. What goes into a good third down conversion, seeing as though you had quite a bit of them on Thursday night, and just what's that kind of mentality you take onto the field during those moments?
What I would say is it just goes into the preparation of the week. We put a big emphasis on third downs, and we even break it down into the different third and shorts, third and mediums, third and longs, and Coach Vincent and the whole offensive staff really put a big emphasis on that. And so I think that when you do work that hard on third downs, as we do, definitely pays off on game day.
Now, going into a game as a new starter, sometimes you would think that you won't get as many pass plays called, but you go out there, I believe it was about 28 pass attempts you had, 3 for 300 yards. So, what's that like? I think we kind of touched on that as far as, the first strike to Austin. But, going for the entire game, how does that feel to have the confidence of your coaching staff to know that you can go out and throw it 28 times a game?
It's really good. I have very, very high trust in Coach Vincent, Coach Clark, and everybody on the offensive staff. And so, honestly, for me, it doesn't matter if we throw 800 times or if we throw twice. I know they're going to have a great game plan, and we got guys like Spencer and Skull and Lucius and Debo running the ball. So we got guys like that in the offensive line, and we don't necessarily need to throw it every single down. And I'm happy to do that as well.
Bryson, we know that your teammates and Coach Clark have said that you watch a lot of film. What did you see when you broke down film of yourself?
I first try to evaluate any tendencies or anything that myself or some of the offensive guys may have, maybe run pass or based off kind of what we're doing. That's kind of the first thing I look at. And some other things, just mechanics and small little details that I try to get better at as far as throwing and my footwork, staying in the pocket, just kind of all those things.
And what did you see in terms of pluses and minuses when you broke down your performance?
Well, we did have make some plays down the field, but there also were some plays that we missed, and most of those were my fault, just hitting balls on landmarks and things like that. But I think I would just say that as far as me just being in the pocket and kind of just seeing how I can step my game up each week through practice, that's what I'm focused on.
Going into this game, it's your first conference game to play, and these guys have got a pretty good defense going on right now, especially number 1 and number 8 on that front 7. Just kind of, what can you tell me a little bit about this defense from what you've seen on film?
Well, we have a lot of respect for this defense. Seems like they are very aggressive, like Coach was saying. They bring a lot of pressure. So we're excited for that. We're excited for the challenge, and we do have a lot of respect for them.
Bryson, what's your favorite throw to make?
I don't know. I kind of like the intermediate throws, to be honest with you. Like an incoming guys coming from the outside coming in on like an in-breaking route. I like those throws, but honestly, I like them all.
And when you have the strength that you have, the arm strength that you have, well, what does that do for your confidence when you're out there on the field that you feel like you can make any throw that's in the book?
Oh, it definitely helps. It definitely helps. But when you have guys like Austin and Myron and some of those other guys, I mean, you can basically put it anywhere and they'll definitely grab it.
And how about, what did you learn in terms of when to get rid of the ball, how long to hang on to the ball? I know you took a shot there out of bounds that was pretty wicked. And what did you learn in terms of that, about how to manage a game in that sense?
For sure. Well, I think just being on the field is definitely priceless as far as having experience, and that's kind of something that I'm just starting to get now. But learning to throw the ball away, I've definitely been told a few times this week, just to make sure not take any unnecessary shots, and just live to play another down. And if the situation requires for it, then take it. But if not, just throw it away or get rid of it.
And how much fun are you having doing this? I mean, you're a redshirt freshman. You're playing, you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't a lot of redshirt freshman quarterbacks out there who are playing. But how much fun is this for you?
It's a lot of fun, and what's more fun to me is just seeing all the hard work that our offense has been doing, even now in the off season, and just seeing it come to, the game, and just seeing everybody have a really fun time. That's what's fun for me.
Anything else from Bryson?
Thanks, man.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
We'll end it with that. Thanks, Bryson. All right, everybody. Thank you.
All right.